guys? It's RetroGamingNow, and I am back with Riven. And we are in this kind of submarine sort of thing. We gotta figure out how this works. So let's just start flipping levers. This looks like that rotates where it is. This lever doesn't do anything. And this lever sends it in motion. Now you'll notice that there's a clear break where we enter the water. And we have stopped, and we've hit another one of these things, so let's... Oh, won't let us open it. I guess we're not in an edge because we're underwater. So, this probably tells us where we're going to go. So let's go left, and I am making a map of this as I go, just so you know. So if you're ever playing this game, this is a place where you should probably be writing down what you're doing. Just because it can get really confusing when you're going under all this. Okay, looks like we're coming back to the edge. Get out here. So let's see what we can do. And wherever we are, we cannot get there because it looks like that ladder's too far away. But there's some sort of big thing here. It's hard to tell really what it is. But we cannot get there because the ladder is stuck. So let's just keep on going. I think the sounds in this section are just so iconic, and I just love the sound. So let's go right and see where that goes. Honestly, it's probably possible to do this puzzle, maybe if you can get a high enough vantage point and see what's going on. But it should be clear what's going on, right? We are on this submarine going on tracks underneath the water to various stops. Let's see what we got here. We cannot get there because the ladder's down. The ladder's too far away, but this is the place we were at earlier where it goes up to the village over there where we first saw that little kid. So we've been here before. We know where that is. So let's keep going. And we can't, so let's turn around and go back to that previous junction spot we were at. And then when I get here, I will turn around and go to the left this time. As you can see, there's that path to go. If we were to keep going now, we would go back to where we were. You can see those rods over there. So I don't know what it is, like a cage or something. So, let's flip this around. And go to the left this time. I'll write this down on the map as I go. Mostly straight. I kind of wonder what this is for. Right, so clearly it's allowing us to sort of go around. We already saw that there's that one place that we couldn't reach normally, but it's hard to tell what it is. Like, well, I guess we'll have to see what we can find when we do this. Okay, so we can get up here. Oh, that's because that's where we started out. Okay, so we've gone in a loop now. So, make sure that's on the map that we've gone in a big circle. And we're going to go forward and next time go right, because we're going to hit another junction. You can see there's that cage out there in the distance. If you look, you can see the bubble walls. Like this is where there's like an edge, so you can. The water is like a big bubble because the water's sort of suspended. Got some nice core too. Looks alright. I bet you this was a pain to build though. See if we can get up here. Yes, this one is open. We have not been here yet. And we got a ladder, so let's climb that ladder all the way up here. And we got some levers. What do these levers do? Well, if we look out here, we can actually get a nice view. This is where we dropped the submarine down, and the tracks, this is where we've been. So this is where we were earlier and we couldn't get up there. So let's flip these levers. Let's flip them up and see if that does anything. I don't know if we can see it there. Maybe it will reduce those ladders or make it so you can climb those ladders. Actually, there's a good way to test that. Let's flip them all the opposite way and see if this ladder is moved so we can't do it. And that's how we can know if that's what's going on here. Because I don't want to flip these if I don't completely know what they're for. I like that sound. I can't really do it. Alright, head on down. Yeah, so we can't get there. And maybe it didn't reduce the ladder, maybe it just rotated the sub or moved the sub out of the way, but for whatever it is, we cannot reach that now. So that is indeed what it does. If we activate the rest of these, we should be able to get everywhere that we need to go. Alright, now we can check out all those places we couldn't reach earlier. Okay. So flip the sub around because it's a dead end and get out the other way. I'm not gonna lie, this is not one of my favorite puzzles. I think it's pretty tedious, but it's alright, you know? Sometimes that's fine. Okay, so I want to, I think, turn around because I'm going to go to that. Whatever it's called. There's sort of bar things I'm going to get to. It's kind of cool that they animated it. I think like the animation in this game really gets a whole lot more realism. It just feels really good. Alright. So now we can go up here. Not sure how you get that open. It must be pretty heavy. And we can get to this thing. What is it? I don't know. Look up. Looks like there's Frankly, I can't tell what this thing is or what it's for. But we can't go do anything. It's just sort of here. There's no way to... There's nothing to do. But... yeah, I don't know. Actually, it looks like there might be a catwalk out there, so maybe if we went up top we could do something? I don't know. Looks like we're kind of stuck here. Okay, okay, there's one place we haven't been. If I turn around and go left, so left here, I think is a good place. Just according to my map. What this sub's powered by? Like you can hear some sort of pumping going on. Probably steam, honestly. Like that's what everything seems to be powered by. At least what we saw on the other island. So let's go and see what we've got. If you notice, there are 5 points on that star. Like 5 seems to be a running motif. And if you remember that Atris mentioned that this was the 5th age of Gen. We got some sort of room here. Let's head on in. It looks like we're in a schoolhouse. We can see there's a bunch of rows for people to sit down, some nice lamps, and another one of these cage things. I've actually already seen these before also. Let's see what this does.
Terekoi Danni, Kibayem Revat, Arroyem Betik Tavom, Gabodona Gayem.
And in the imager, there is some person speaking to the pupils. It would seem as though it was in Dunny. And the reason I think that is if we look at these walls here, it looks like it's Dunny script. I don't know a whole lot about how the language works, but we've already seen this before earlier in the gate room. And we got something on the board. We cannot read it, of course. But who was that guy? A couple things. One, he seemed like he was higher above, and he's trying to, like, if you just listen to his tone of voice, you could tell he was like powerful. He's like, I know what I'm doing. He feels like he's superior to everyone else. And this cage thing, we've actually seen one of these before. If we think back to Temple Island, there's 2 of these. There's one of these in the temple room with the pillars, and there was also another one of these in that chair that we couldn't figure out what it did. Now, this may be a bit of a jump, but what if that chair allows whoever's sitting in it to record himself and perhaps project it out here? Now, I know there's no evidence for that right now, but it could be that that's what the other one is. The temple is also a sort of projector, and so he could sit in there and project himself to the temple. Now, it makes us, we have to start to wonder, who is this person who's projecting himself out? And we've seen, especially in that temple, these images of this godlike figure. So what we know right now is there's some sort of godlike figure and this godlike fish thing, but there's definitely some fear And like, remember we saw at the very beginning of the game, there's, you know, two sides. It almost seems like it's some sort of battle. Well, I don't think it's really any stretch of the imagination, and if you've been paying attention, you've probably come upon this by yourself. But this character that we saw here is Gen, and he is who Atris says is the evil person. And he has, whether he's done it himself or it's what the villagers have done, he's sort of elevated himself to God status. And like, honestly, for me, the most telling is those images, if you remember in the gate room, where it was him. There's this heavenly figure, and right now it's hard to see, assuming that this is Gen. We don't know for sure, but it seems like that he's sort of putting himself in a place where the villagers might think that he is a god. Some stuff to think about. Oh, and what have we got here? We got some fruit. It's a nice 5-sided figure. One of that motif, and then some writing, and you can see what they did wrong, crossed out. So it's definitely a schoolhouse. If we look, actually real quick, if you look at these lamps, there's more of that fish that we kept seeing. What is it? It's elusive, but it's clearly so ingrained in their culture, and we see it so often in connection with Gen, or whoever this god figure is. And we got one more thing over here. Actually, if we look at this, we've actually seen this symbol here before. We saw this symbol in that beetle. So I think about that, but let's just see what this thing does. Okay, so there's like a fish there. Perhaps it's that same fish. And these hanging people. And there's a different symbol there each time. And they move closer and closer to the mouth of the fish. Until the fish eats them. And this morbid sort of game, this is supposed to be a children's place, right? This is where kids go to learn, and they have this game where they're feeding people to this fish. Like, what is going on here? There's something about this we just don't understand. Like, what is it? We haven't seen any evidence that it actually exists even. But here, there's this thing in a children's school about lowering people into the mouth of the fish. And what is that? Now, if you notice, there were these boxes here, and they were different based on what's going on. I'm just saying this because I know how this game goes. We're actually going to come back to this at a later point, because there's no point. Like, right now, we don't need to worry about that, and you're just going to have to trust me. What's more important is what we're figuring out about Gen, or, I mean, it's hard to say that it's not Gen, because we haven't seen any other evidence of some sort of higher power. So, I think that's all we can do. So we are going to head back out, and I think we're going to take that logging cart that we saw up there. Like, we're getting... It's like... We're just sort of getting this atmosphere. We're sort of learning what it's like to be this villager in Riven, and are they oppressed? And they're just... It just seems like they're in fear. We want to go right to get out of here. Like, we gotta figure out like what that fish is, because this is shown up so many times. And it's just, yeah, it's probably almost like a religious love for it. Love or fear, I don't know. So, yeah, it's been an interesting view, sort of in like what culture we have here. So let's head back out. We're gonna, keep having this in mind as what if Gin is using this as some sort of power play. Is this Gin? That's one thing we do have to find out. But right now, I think it's pretty safe to assume it is. Actually, wait a minute. If you think about it, we were in one of these caves earlier, and there was some drawing on the wall of a figure lowering two people to the fish in the exact same way that game showed us. Let's see if I can find that. I remember it was a blue cave. I don't mean to like move too quickly through this, but I'm gonna find where that is, and then once I find that, so I can confirm it, we're gonna go to that logging cart. Shoot, I cannot remember. There's that over there. But you know what I'm talking about, right? I can't find it at this exact moment, but yeah, there was that. It was somewhere there, and next time we're around there, I'll show it to you. But there was that specific image of a man lowering or holding two men above the fish, and there's something pretty dark going on here. We can't necessarily tell what it is for sure, but we just got to keep our eyes open. Okay, well, let's go in here and see where this goes. And I think this is a logging cart. And let's just enjoy the ride. Oh boy, we're gonna get going here. Oh, look at this. It's almost like open water. Maybe we are. We've seen water can make holes, so. Yep, we were underwater. We're coming out. And we're heading to a new island. What is it going to be? What are we going to find here? Have arrived. Looks like we're in a cave of some sort, so let's get... Oh! Well, we were dumped out into something. Where are we? What is going on? You guessed it, we are going to find out in the next episode. This has been Retro Gaming Now. We are slowly uncovering the secrets of Riven and what's going on. Like, what's actually really happening here, and there's some dark stuff, it would seem. So, as always, if you enjoy, feel free to leave a comment and rate it and subscribe. I always love reading what you guys send me. And it's been Retro Gaming Now playing Riven, and in our next episode, we are going to explore and see where we are. Alright, everybody, have a great day. I will see you guys later.